Good morning, and thank you for joining me here on Sunday, the 7th. Happy New Year if we haven't seen each other since then. I'm starting with this chart on purpose. The overall message will be out tonight. So the strategy session will be tonight. This is to review the tickers that you guys asked about. And we have like 125 of them. So we have a lot of work. But first, I want to put the sentiment. We had one red week after 9 green ones, and it feels like the end of the world. This picture is to show you that we haven't even started falling if we want to continue. So if you're starting to look for bottom fishing, we're not even off the top. This is the Dow, okay? It's still pretty high. So don't jump in with both feet, is what I'm saying, blindly. This is the Q. And this is the S&P. So we're essentially up in zones like these, where we had a huge run and a few days of suffering. So that's the overall sentiment. I'll have a full video about that later. And by the way, if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to discuss in the comment section, it's open for discussion, follow-up questions, and everything. And also, the average watch time on the other video, the market oversight video, is, even though the video is 6 or 7 minutes, the average people drop off after 5 minutes. If you can't give yourself 7 or 8 minutes to watch a video that'll help you trade all week, I think you're setting yourself up for a little blindside here and there. So just do your effort to watch the whole video. And also comment in the section. Follow-up questions if you have them. It's a good place for it. Okay, so I'm going to go down the list, and it's a long one. All of these stickers we have to run through today, and they're alphabetical. And it's almost always AA in the beginning. Alcoa, this is the daily chart. It shows that it could drop to 29. It does have support at 30. These candles came too fast, is what it tells me. And a little bit more red could happen. So if I'm bottom fishing, I should know that there are sellers at 33. I think there'll be sellers up at 33, and there'll be buyers at 30. If you lose 30, I think you'll go to 28, if not 27.5. 28.25 to 27.90 maybe as a zone that I would be interested in a stock like this. I don't know the fundamentals, but chart-wise. Apple, you've heard of it. It could bounce. Apple is available from here to 185, stall, maybe 189. So if somebody took calls in Apple on Friday, I see why you did that. This scenario has weakness in it. In other words, this is not super strong support. All right, this is a bet on the relationship of these ratios here. These 3 lines that you see in dotted, that would say that that can happen. So if the markets bounce, yeah, Apple has an opportunity to gain a few bucks. I want you to be cautious of if it does this instead and loses last week's low, it will end up here, and that would be a better starting point. So I don't know your target time on Apple. If you're patient for the long term, you can avoid chasing that for the possibility of having a better entry. If you sell puts and all of that, you can do that stuff indirectly. I looked at selling puts, but there wasn't anything inviting. Good morning, Dave. Okay, let's see here. What is this? ABBV. This looks pretty extended for me. There's no way I would like to go long a stock that is going into a prior fail like this. These people thought that this one is different. These people thought that this one is different. And this person that's looking to go along here should go ask these people, and these two, what happened the last time they bought it up here. I would rather buy the dip into 155 or 152 or 150. And when this W turns red, it will be a show. It will be a downside scenario. So if you force me to trade this guy without earnings, I would short it. I would fade it. I would buy puts, sell call spreads. Adobe, somebody said they're short and it's working. I would book my short. The easy work is done. Why? We've come down half the rally. and we've come down almost my entire arrow. I don't remember when I put it, but it was money, right? And look left. This was the huge reaction candle to the earnings, I think. So it should have buyers between here and 548. I don't know how surgical you can be with Adobe, but I remember saying the P&L was awesome, but you know, the price action is terrible. So it does have weakness to 545, 548. There's some sort of wiggle in that, whatever that thing is right there. And the easy work is done. If you're lazy like me in trading, I wouldn't start shorts here. AIG, I don't understand this company anymore fundamentally, so that part is on you. Wow, I would not start longs. So even though it looks like a breakout, and technically it should go $40 higher than here if you use the technicals, because that's a huge inverse head and shoulders. I don't think that's what we have right now. Oh my God, what is going on with AIG? What the heck? This must be a split of something. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's in open air. I don't know what that is. It is in open air. So to me, if I'm looking to get long, it's not a place for me to get long. If you're looking to short it, you better learn what's going on. I don't know what's up there. So it is not an obvious entry point. It is shortable because of the long rally, but I don't get it. So you should do homework. ALB was a buy, and now maybe it's starting to become a buy. The longer it falls, it goes back into the area where we thought it would be a good base on ALB. So the closer to this cluster that held, this did not play out, this red thing. It had been playing out several times, so this time it did not play out. So now we can consider this as a base. So as it approaches 126, 125, there should be buyers. So if I'm short, I'm out. If I'm looking to short, this wouldn't be it. If I'm looking to go long for a bounce like this, yes. I'm not looking to go long to get 168. I don't think you can do it. Not in this environment, but this P&L is strangely strong. I don't understand P&L like this. So study the company. The chart says support is coming. Applied Materials, like Apple, it's fallen into a base that used to be a resistance. Now it will be support. Whoops, one too many P's. Yes, I have shortcuts for words I don't like to type. Support is one of them. So between 148 and 145, there are buyers. You will get a bounce. I don't think it'll take out 160. So it's a trade, not an investment, unless you're in it for a lot of years. If so, then I would suggest I would start small and add to it, because this is the weekly chart taking out all marks. That up here, yes, it was a painful week, but goodness gracious, it's still at all-time highs in my book. So if I'm an investor for the long term, I most definitely am not chasing this one. And I would wait for better entries for the long term. If you absolutely must have something, take a small bite. What do I mean by that? It means just take a partial position, not even 20% maybe. That's me. I'm conservative. Okay, you see that big red W? If that big red W plays out, 105 is the target. Yep, you heard that right. On a weekly basis, this can happen. Chop. 105 is target 1. I'm not going to mention target 2 because that'll piss off a lot of people. So we'll go with that. And how can it happen? Let me rephrase it. If they don't take out 148 with strength, they're probably going to get to 126. If they don't take out this chunk, they are at risk of doing this kind of a thing. So I wouldn't invest in AMD up here. I could trade it, but then come into the live room so we can trade it actively. This does not have the best P&L of all of the of AMD, Nvidia, and Intel. So why chase it? AMGN. Oh my gosh, people. All right, so I don't know why you're asking me to look at this. Are you asking to short it? This is an all-time high. If you want to try a short side, that's fine with me. If you're asking me to invest in AMGN, I don't think I would do that for myself. And as far as levels I'm interested in, at least take out this one candle from a few days ago. And honestly, for me as an investment, I would want it much, much lower, like 260, 250 maybe, as an investment. I don't know the company. I don't want to insult it. But technically, the chart doesn't inspire me to go long here. AMR. Alpha. What are these sticker? Why does everything look like it's parabolic like this? Okay, the chart is not going to help you at all. I don't get these P&Ls. See, this is another one of those peculiar situations where 2022 was a miracle demand on its services, where the almost doubles in size, and the bottom line goes from 300 million to what is it, 1.5 billion. And now, if you go on the quarterly, it's on the decline for more than 5 quarters. 5 quarters, I should say, more than a year. So it's not a cyclical thing. Do your homework. If you're looking to buy this long, do it on faith. The chart doesn't say that. Amazon. Now I know what they do. I don't need to say I don't know what they do. And this here, okay. Traders, you can get long against the base of 142, 140. But investors, this for me is not an obvious entry point. Now, Amazon, if I remember correctly, on a yearly basis, it used to fall a lot. So if the markets have a tizzy, why? I don't know. We could have something hiding in the headlines that actually affects the world. If Amazon does this, let me rephrase it nicely. If Amazon loses 143-ish, it could end up in the 142-ish over time. So we may have just started a descending channel of lower lows or lower highs. I said may because I don't know what the market's going to do. We had one red week. The bears are not in charge. So that's all I'm saying. One red week is not a habit. I can tell you that there are a lot of sellers in the 151, 152 area. I don't know what I just did. I double-clicked something that expanded this. Okay, so anyway, once it rallies into 149, 150, 151, 52, there's going to be sellers. So I can even lower that. And there's not a lot of support. Why? Because we ran like mad, people. That makes a weak spot. Look left, there's no volume. So it's easy to go from here to here pretty quickly. Applied materials. I don't like this candle right there. Wow. So if I were to say, what's a terminal bar? This. Holy cow. Sellers. Enforce. What is that? So it can pop. It can go to 240, but it looks like whatever that thing is pretty dominant. So it might be easier to get to 220. And unlike the other P&L that you can't forecast, look at the steady Eddy P&L of this company. I mean, if you wanted to build a perfect P&L picture, look at it. Sales are growing, bottom line is strong and growing. My goodness. This is like if somebody's doing finance on how to build a company, that's a P&L you want. Consistency. So this by definition is a buy the dip stock at different intervals. This is not a go all in stock. Every dip has been buyable for as long as we can see. At some point, one of those will become nope. Personally, I think 205 or lower is a bargain from the chart. So I'm going to put an alert from my own self. Anything below 184 or 180 on a crisis becomes a good investment opportunity. Trading wise, there's a lot of trading to be done short term. The moving averages have crossed like they haven't crossed in a long time. Maybe here that was the last time. So you might end up at 222. I think as a trader, I would get long under 224 as a trader. Trading entry long here. Trading entry long, not investors. That's me. So your line is 227. If you lose that, you're going down to here. This just below this, maybe. AVGO. So we said don't chase it, I'm pretty sure. And we said shortable in the live room. I know a lot of people shorted it. If you did, oh goodness, was that a good short? But it's hard to short. It's a big stock. In order to short it, you would need a lot of money just the traditional way. So the best way to short it was a credit call spread, a bear call spread, you sell above, or a debit put spread, or both. And I know people that did both, and they're very happy right now. Good company, good P&L, look at that, just like the other one. There's nothing wrong with this P&L, super steady. And so it's a matter of finding levels. To me, 925, anything below 950 becomes interesting. Nick, that's like a mile away. Okay, but you asked, and I'm telling you, for my own pocket, I wouldn't touch it above 950. In fact, I would wait for a crisis. I would say to myself, you missed it, you Nick. You missed it. Wait for the next crisis to get long. Same as I would say on crypto. Yes, I like it. I loved buying it low, and I can't wait for the next crash. AstraZeneca. All right, so this chart tells me there are a lot of sellers above 69. From 69 to 71, I would not want to get long. And if it gets to 72, I would exit my longs. That's the trader in me. I don't know their business, so you might want to invest for the long term. That's a different conversation. So let's go to a weekly chart. Good P&L. They're buying dips. They could get to 76, just looking left as to what's going on. The trader in me, I think they will come to 66. I think the next move, if they don't get to 70, in fact, as long as they're below 70.4, this is the target, I think. Do with that what you want. Now, this can happen. Less likely. But it is a target, less likely. Target 3 would be 62 or 61.5. $62.25. Baba, what did we say last time? Pattern is repeating. I should count on it again. I don't remember what. Oh, the sell the rip mode. Okay. We put a box called resistance, and it hit it and it failed. And let's see here. This is the RNK is a line for myself. That's lingo for my own self. It's a long-term chart thing. So it's a significant level they're fighting over, that purple line, thin purple line. What am I saying? You have a hard buyer here and a hard seller there. Whichever breaks apart first, they will go in that direction. So the opportunity for the buyers are to take out 78 so it can get to 82. And God help them if they go below 70, because they're going to go probably to 65 in a series of lower lows and lower highs. This pattern is repeating itself. Okay, so respect it. When the pattern is one way, the chart behavior is one way, you just go with the flow. That's the easier way to say it. Bank of California. Sounds like SVB to me. Good solid P&L. I don't know what the P&L was like for SVB. The business did not go out of business. The business failed because of the wrong assets in their balance sheet. So study what they have on the balance sheet. If you're an investor, if you're a trader, there are no clues. You have buyers below, albeit they look stronger than the sellers above, but you have buyers below and sellers above. Technically above 1450, it could get to 1650 in a spike like this on some headline. Otherwise, if you're an investor, anywhere below is a good buying opportunity. Again, study their assets. SVB failed because it had bad assets. Bad mix of assets. They chose one thing, predominant thing, so they failed. That's the little I know about it. Okay. Baxter International. Technically, above 40, you might get to 43.50. I don't understand the P&L. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's not completely strange. What is that? I don't know. Maybe they bought something. $3 billion loss. And so technically, you have sellers into 40-ish. If you overcome it, you go into the second part where it's going to be difficult, which is above 42.50. You do have buyers. So they're buying dips. Builders first. The moving averages are crossing. That's usually turning points, and that happened in that zone up here where it carried forward lower. Okay, so let's play the volume game. Above 166, it's going to be difficult to take out 166, but if they do, they might get enough to take out 172. Okay, so there is a potential of doing something like they did here, from here to here. That is possible, but they need to take out that area. So I don't want to line it up perfectly here, but something like this here. That path is available. It could have started last week, or if it dips into 148, you can try to start it. But you have to pay attention that we are not here, that this is going to happen. Okay, so you have to mention that you want to know that there could be a descending channel. There could be. This is not solid white line. This is it may be that there is something like this going on. All right, BMY. Above 53.50 would be a good win for the bulls, and they are buying dips. The ascending channel is up, so the bulls are in control. Higher lows and higher highs, you can see it. Dips, they're buying dips. Choppy, but if you're an investor, you want to see them take out 53.50, that area. If you do that, then you could shoot $3, $2.50 to $3 from here on up. So this is a breakout zone. They can take it if they want it. How high is the opportunity? $2 to $3. Let's see. I'm going to estimate something like this. I'm going to make it less visible because I'm not condoning it that well. It's a big if. Okay. And then if you look left, huge number of seller potential here. Sellers. Whoops. What does that mean? Resistance. People want to sell up there. Boil. This is natural gas. This would not be what I would use to trade Boil. I would use UNG. It's a little bit more stable. And actually, in order to make decisions on that one, you should use NG, the futures contract, because these are recent and you don't have an all-time low figure on it. And you think that you're in an all-time low and you're not. So I always bring that point up, because if you zoom back, you don't see an all-time low. In fact, there is an all-time low, and it's like 40–50% below current price. So and natural gas has had worse days. I wouldn't accumulate this thing. I would trade it. Politicians will get into your pocket with this one. They will mess with your profits. This here, from here to 620, I wouldn't touch it as far as longs. And because, look left, there's a lot of levels to be dealing with. And also, you have the headline of the dollar, which manipulated the move on Friday. When the dollar crashes, and it does crash on Powell Word Day, and it leaves room for things like gold and anything that's priced in the dollar. It gets a burst of energy. It's not a mathematical relationship over time, but on headlines, yes, they do go opposite direction. That's why you see that big. On the website vocabulary.com. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said. Stop. Jeez Louise, this is the assistant. Okay, so we were doing Boyle. I wouldn't short it on a daily basis. It could run up to, wait, is this it? Yes. So it could continue its rally, and it is a leverage ETF, so it does rally fast. If you're long, good job. I would scale out into 48. BSX, the opposite, the exact opposite. Technically speaking, if they don't take out 60, I think they go to 54. I would put it this way. Possible. Stop above 64. What does that mean? If somebody bought a put I wouldn't. This is no longer a guarantee. Okay. And this one they're buying dips, it looks like. So it is a bullish chart. It's just a dip inside of an ascending channel. Let me check on a different time frame. Sometimes shorter time frames give us different clues. Yep, no, same comment. Support into 56 zone and better support into 54.50. BTBT, Bit Digital. I don't know what that is. I know I've charted it last week for people. I just don't remember what it is. Bitcoin related, looks like. Okay, so you're trading Bitcoin with this one. I think Bitcoin can go to 38 to 35. So you're at risk. This particular stock has support and it's a wide zone. It goes between 2.8 and 3.5. So you have a support zone below you. If you want to trade that, that's fine. But I think they're sell the rip mode now. You have also sellers at 4.2-ish. I wanted to short that one. I missed the easy drop, so I'm going to leave it alone. Even though I think it can come down to that yellow spot, I'm not going to touch it. We've traded it several times. They are buying dips. I'm not buying this dip if I was an investor. As an investor, I want it in the 2 digits, so below 100. As a trader, you can trade it actively if you want to. These 2 candles are risky. The one got bought out and the other one needs to. So I mean priced out. The other one needs to. I think it has a date with 113 eventually. There's your Cracker Barrel. Not sure why you wanted to short it, Tom, but there it is. But if you repeat the process, these dips are buying opportunities, so don't be too hasty in shorting it. Short the rallies because what's going on? This is going on. So they're buying dips, so make sure that this dip is not getting bought out. All right? So make sure that this doesn't happen. Whoops. This is what happened last time they dipped here. They made a higher high. They dipped. Maybe they make a higher high. Just be careful. From an investor, if I'm looking to go long, I like it in the 67 or 68. CCL. The industry is trying to recover. The business is healthier. And the debt is probably heavy load, but this is their chance to recover. I mean, they know how to run a business because they're still existing after being shut down for a year, more than a year, I think. So kudos to them. This played out perfectly. Maybe it happens again. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do this. What if this is going on here? But the depth of this could be a little bit lower. So what am I saying? I'm saying repurpose, reuse, save the planet. No, that's not what I'm saying. Of course you want to save the planet. I'm saying that rinse and repeat. That could be happening again over time. It's an ugly one, but hopefully you heard the words. Not my best artwork. There is support down here. And look out for earnings. This one, nope, 74 days, you're good on that one. Also look out for earnings of other companies like it. They move in sympathy together. Console Energy. All right, I wouldn't go long into 114. That's a heavy seller a couple of times. And I wouldn't go short into 92. That's a heavy buyer. So we're stuck. We have a lot of sellers above and a lot of buyers below. As a trader, you can trade that range. As an investor, you can buy dips and not all at once. And as a momentum trader, if we take out 115, we may get to 124. So if you took longs here anticipating that, that's fine. Just make sure you put stops and you know what you're doing. Me, as an investor, I would ask myself, what the hell's going on with the, oh my God, this alerts from the phones. What's going on with the descending channel in the P&L? It should look like this. Over the quarterlies, it's not doing so well. So dig into it. CELH. This is Paul Hogan stock. Hogan? No, what is his name? That kid from YouTube, Paul something. Anyway, it's a meme stock, is what I'm saying. And if I would be a bear into 61, into a dip for reaching 53, is what I'm saying. It's at risk of getting to 53, 54 before it gets to 63. It has sellers above and buyers below. It has a lot of buyers really, like into 50. Okay, I see the average, the the fact that it can be attractive to investors. But let it prove itself that it's not a fad first. So when I invest, I don't go all in. This is a good base, but I wouldn't go all in. It's a good trading stock though. Okay, CHWY ran to the moon, super wrong, fell into hell, super wrong, and now it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, so now we're a little bit more less risky. However, the whole market is in all-time highs. So this is because it had given us trouble. No, I'll leave it on here in case somebody calls me on and, oh, you lost me money. Not if you didn't panic. Okay, so this is a good base. The business is solid. There's no deterioration in the sales. Everybody says it's losing sales because of the recession. First of all, there is no recession. Everybody's spending like crazy. And nobody's going to skimp on food. If you look at their income, a lot of it is from consumables. So it's not widgets. They're not selling toys and stuff. They're selling food and litter and stuff. So good opportunity to start longs into a giant dip like this one for CHWY. If you need more specifics, reach out. Okay, oil. Oil, I wouldn't invest in oil because it's literally a manipulated asset. What do I mean? There's at least one organization out there and several continents that manipulate the price of oil, including the US. We manipulated the oil prices by pumping at record levels, which is good for the country, good for inflation, less money out of the US public. It's not good for OPEC. So OPEC now needs to create skirmishes in order to prop up the price so they can still make their money because they're losing market share. That's what happens. Anytime somebody else takes market share from them, they need to raise the price in order to keep the same dollars going in. That's my thesis, and it's mathematically sound. If I'm a country and I have income from oil and the income drops, I need to make it up somehow. So what do? I'm not selling as much, therefore I need to raise the price a little bit. It makes sense. So above 76, we have a crisis because it goes to 82. Simple as that. Okay, so hopefully the US will pump more if we go above 76, so we can avoid that. Meanwhile, you have a lot of buyers below in this. I don't see it losing 68 because if we do, it's probably going to go into the 50s in another series of lower lows and lower highs. So I thought that the rally would dip and make a lower low, and that happened, this one. So I would assume that these sellers are pretty strong, and it's easier to come to 69 than it is to 78. So it's easier to get to here than it is to get to there. Comerica, that is strong. That's a flaggish thing. It's a consolidation zone, whatever you want to call it. When a stock chops inside of a box after a strong rally and they take out the box, they go extra on that rally. So this can be at 62. But look at these sellers. All right, let's look left for some more. What is there? Oof, okay. So it's trying to recover some. Is this a regional bank? Yeah, see, the P&L is good, but then again, with banks, that doesn't matter. It's what kind of assets are you holding. If it gets to 70, I'm out. That's too much overhead supply. I'm out. So if I'm winning, I would scale out and leave some runners for that last batch, and then I'm out. Comcast it was a good dip. It might still get to 44 or 45. At which place I would be out and leave runners in case they take out 45, they get to 47. From a trading perspective, buy the dip into these strong candles. And if that fails, of course, buy the dip down here. So I will put an alert here. I've traded Comcast before, and if I remember correctly, my observation was that it's too violent for this consistent P&L. The P&L is fairly consistent, and the stock trades like a Tesla. That's pretty weird. Coin. Where's my mic? Let me drop my mic. If you followed into the short on coin, you made bank. If you did both, sold the call spread and bought some puts or put spread, you make extra bank. My puts didn't fire. I had an order, they didn't fill, but I was short via the credit call spread, so I got half of the benefit. But that was a nail. Now, what people don't realize that this stock can be at 120 in a couple of weeks if they don't pay attention. Let me rephrase. If you lose 140, 142 solidly, you will be in the 120s if not 118s. Why? It's the only reason that rallied is because of the anticipation of more transactions and the rally in crypto, which was for the same reason. There's not a person that I haven't talked to about investing that doesn't say, hey, they mention, they know what I do in parties, and we had a lot of parties over the holiday. They say, what do you think of Bitcoin, crypto? And they've heard me talk about crypto, never wanted to hear me talk about crypto, always walk away from the circle I'd be talking about too. And then now they're all interested at the wrong time. And then they all say the same thing. They mention the word BlackRock and ETF and approval. So this is to say that whatever is coming from that, it is already baked in. I know there's a decision soon. So it's binary between now and whenever that decision is. I don't track the news. It's not going to change my opinion on crypto. I'm still going to trade it without headlines. So whenever that decision comes, okay, there's going to be a move up or down. I don't know. I will fade that move most likely. And if it's down, I wouldn't buy this dip. I don't believe in coin. Look at this P&L. What are you investing in? It's too volatile. So for me, I don't want that many variables in my pocket. Technically, I gave you the opinion. 140 should be solid. You lose it, you go into the low 120s, if not 118, 117. For it to take out 192 and run the 240 is available, but it would need a huge rally in crypto. The dip in crypto I mentioned earlier would be buyable to go to 70. So it's not like I'm opposed to that idea, but I think we need a dip first to gather a little bit more momentum in order to rally. Campbell. So I'll say it again. Everybody needs a little bit of Campbell soup in their pocket, in their portfolio. This stock is weird. So let's see here. Opportunity. So it's playing out a sell the rip mode. But this green thing says target 1 was 46. Now, was that enough? Is that close enough to 46? And it also says that 51 is possible. So if I own shares, I'll stay in them. If I bought calls and I'm winning, I will trim some, leave some. If I'm chasing it into that, I would rather buy the dip into, say, 41 and then see if it curls back up. So if I'm starting out now, I would want to see them do this to see if I can do that. And if they take this guy, this is target and target. Okay. Let's see shorter term. Can we get some clues? So dip into this candle are buyable. Where levels in these candles? How about 42, 41.8? I like that level. Okay. CRM was shortable. I missed the short. I discussed it in the live room about the same time I said coin. Credit call spread, 252, 250. Wow, that would have been beautiful because that is 252, 250 right here. But that was before. So the idea was to short it via a credit call spread and a debit put spread. I think it can still go lower. It's a good company. I'm a fan. But here's the rub on this one. If you lose 247, 246, you're in danger of going into a very weak makeup here. This is weak. So be careful. If they lose this, needs to hold. Otherwise, this is a quick trip. And sellers here. You have resistance above. So this, if it fails, that would be the path to go lower. Be careful. Good company. Buy the dip mode, of course. Find levels you like. You see now how it's the weakness right there? There's no volume. So that's an old box. We can take it out so it doesn't confuse us. You need to price out this. That's my opinion. I don't know what happened here. Wow, that was a good reaction. Cisco, the easy money has been made. 52.5 is the target of this thing. This hit target 1, target 2 is like 53.5. But I think once you come up to this candle, 51.3, 0.4, 0.5, I think you've done the easy work. So from here, if the markets rally, yeah, it can continue to crawl up. So the buy the dip is done. Now you buy the dip again and hope that this ledge holds. Cortera, another energy company. So I'm going to tell you that I see kind of a weird pivot line here. So this was support, they lost it, and they're trying to recover it. So here's what usually happens. If they cannot recover to here, if they're not above 27.20, they're in danger of doing this. In danger. So if you're a bull, you want them to get up here to avoid this scenario. You want them to recover this neckline, and it's a little bit of a zone. It's not a hard line in the sand. Yep. All right. Rise and fall of a trader. What happened to Bill Huang? He lost 20 billion in 2 days. Is that the whole story? Okay, I'll click on it and read it after hours. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so CVS, nice recovery. If I was long, I'd be out as fast as can be. Okay, so the P&L is not bad, but I don't understand why it was falling out of, like, I stopped wanting to trade PayPal and Square and all of that and Shopify until the manipulation has stopped. This stock feels manipulated. If you bought the dip or you didn't shake out and you're getting a relief and you're almost even, here's my rule. If I'm down on a stock big time and I get some sort of a relief, I take advantage of it, at least partially, and lighten up my position. The closer it gets to 88, the less likely it's going to go anymore. Look left. Okay, so what am I saying? I'm saying that on the way up, this was overkill. This was a breakout. This should have been the target. This was overkill. So you're inside the target zone, that one. You see it? It's exaggerated here as well. So to me, this is the end zone. How close to the end zone do you want to be before you call it quits? Buy the dip into this cluster of support if you like it. And if you lose 64, you may end up in the 40s over time. Caesars, falling into a base. The base has higher lows and higher highs. So if you are an investor, you can see this investment path going on. This is what happens over time in a normal stock, right? If this was years, that's what it should look like. Ups and downs, but a little bit more up than down. So you're consolidating. You don't want to lose 38.40. If you do, you're at risk of going into the 20s. And you have a lot of sellers all the way through 60. You take out 60, you can get to 74. Again, that's an overtime statement. To me, there is a bunch of sellers hiding from here at 66 or higher. A lot of resistance. Resistance. Big capital letters. Big digits. So that you don't miss it. Disney. All right. Take the politics out of Disney. Look at the P&L. What you think you hear and is going on is not necessarily what is going on. The P&L shows you what is going on. You hear, oh, thousands. I saw headlines, millions of people canceled Disney. Bull crap. That didn't happen. Okay, so, and I love a conspiracy theory, but that's just rhetoric. Look at the P&L, wait for the report, and decide for yourself what's going on. They cannot fraudulently deliver financials. So that's the only fact we have right here. This arrow might still be in play. So there might be some bleed down to this zone. And there are a lot of sellers above. So the first opportunity for Disney is for them to take out this. This is a breakout opportunity. It's a heavy spot. So there are sellers here waiting. But it's also a little bump to here where there's a lot of resistance as well. So it's not all roses. There's going to be a lot of resistance up here. I don't know why I did that. 400. There you go. Oops. There. Taking shortcuts, copying, took me longer to fix it than I should have created a new one. Lazy. All right, so for me, I like it inside this base. But it is tradable. It is tradable short term. DOCN, so this is one that I suggested to go long down here. It took a dip, and now it did what I thought it would do back there. So let me see what I said. Did I say buy shares? Hopefully I did. I don't remember if it was buy shares or buy calls. Buy shares or calls. Okay, or sell puts. So if somebody sold puts, they did well. If somebody bought shares, they did well. If somebody bought calls, they may have lost some. I remember it popping and dropping, so they had the opportunity to make money. Anyway, now it's less likely for me to get long. Now, this P&L is fantastic. I don't understand the business. So if you're an investor, hey, you don't need to listen to these chart comments. If you're starting now, just do less than half the position, like 20%. Closer to 30, the better. Look left, the closer to 30. So if they lose 33.50, this area was frothy. Okay, so we got the potential, but now they need a trigger above 39. 39 will get you 45 over time. So I would rather buy the dip below 31 to catch an entry point inside this zone to curl back up and do its thing. DOCU, I think somebody said they're short. If I shorted DOCU, I would exit, even though it could have some more downside. This is one of those boring stocks, so the P&L is good. It's not cheap. It's never cheap if you look at the metrics like price to sales and such. And so this is a company, if I remember correctly, on the way down, they were begging people to sell the stock, basically. Oh, we kind of suck. We're going to suck in the future. Oh, the business is so tough. So how can you believe in it when they don't even pump it up with their words? So technically, you need to take out 65 in strength and 70. And if you do that, you get the 90. But you need to do that. And first things first, hold 50 or 48. So for me, it's get long inside this candle of the earnings. If I pick a number, it's 48.50. Get long via sold puts if they have premiums. Enphase, I don't trade it anymore. I got some people out of chasing it last couple of weeks of the year. Man, it was so hard to stop people from chasing everything under the sun, and hopefully you were convinced. Okay, so hey, we have a good crowd here today. It's because people don't read the write-ups. I post write-ups on Friday with the link, but today I went into the live room and I said, we're starting, so we had an extra 20 people. Welcome, thank you for being here. So Enphase, I wouldn't touch it until it goes below 110 if I wanted to, and then I would sell puts. Let me rephrase. If I cannot sell puts below $70, I'm not touching it. Look at it. It is falling in a descending channel. This was my arrow of target. Yeah, it came close to it. But this company stock loves to fall on whatever headline there. Like Boeing tomorrow is probably going to cause itself to fall. This probably will fall with Boeing somehow. I'm making a joke, but I don't understand how that happens. But not for me up here. ET. By the way, the business is great for Enphase, but I don't know how the stock trades that badly. This one, if they don't take out 1420 or 1440, they're probably going to go back to 13, maybe even 1280. So it's at risk of doing another one of those dips inside this ascending channel. So it's not like a bad stock. It's just choppy, and the next chop might be down. You can erase that by taking out the prior fail, and it'll get you 1480 before you chop lower. I would exit longs at 1480. Or 1470. And with that, the end of the first video.